Red Ghost is a 2020 World War II Russian war movie directed by Andrei Bogotyrev, who also wrote the screenplay, alongside Pavel Abramenkov. One Oleg Bogotov is also listed as writer and creative producer. The story follows the titular Red Ghost, who alongside a ragtag band of soldiers must fight off an elite group of German soldiers sent to eliminate the Red Ghost. There will be explosions, firefights, and a Western theme. Let's dive into this and hope my $5 at Menards wasn't wasted on this purchase. Oh, and I didn't mean this was just set in Russia. No, this is an official Russian film. Film starts off with the soldiers about to execute the acting couple. Through the language barrier, they request to see his act, which...
Deutschland! Schauspieler! Unsere neue Zuckermelone! Zuckermelone, das ist Deutschland!
Halt! Das ist nicht lustig.
Hey, I'll be the critic here. But yeah, no, that sucked, and basically made no sense. I should explain now that the translation for subtitles and dubbing was either done by someone incompetent or someone lazy, as in several scenes the dialogue simply doesn't make any sense. Where were we again? This reveals the Red Ghost, played by Alexei Shevchenkov, who played in Predators. This one, he comes ready with his trusty rifle and his Western flick tracks. Yeah, it seems that this film attempted to be a bit of a spaghetti western. We'll see how well they achieve that very soon. Skipping elsewhere, we follow a stray group of soldiers fleeing as text fills us in. It's early into the invasion of the Soviet Union. The Germans manage to get the encirclement that makes up all Hoi 4 players' wet dreams. However, some Soviets are able to break out on their own or in small groups, fleeing towards friendly lines. The group we follow even manages to pick up a stray soldier before he freezes to death. Anyways, we got a lot of characters, and I cannot tell you who they are. Not for lack of trying, and some of them I can, but a majority I cannot. Reason being is that take Kolya here. Shortly after the soldiers find shelter for the night, Kolya dies of his wounds. The reason I cannot name this man is because he doesn't appear. Is that Vladimir Gatsyunkin? Because he's listed as dead, and my man is going TV dinner on us. Perhaps this is a mistranslation, as there is a Kostya, played by Konstantin Simonov. Seems more likely than Vlad, as he's clearly a different decade than Kolya here. The actors' names may even be misspelled on IMDb, as there's nothing else listed. Anyways, Vera, played by Polina Chernyshova, is upset over this. Anyways, that's enough red. Let's head over to the German commander, Braun, played by Wolfgang Cerny. He seems disappointed that this guy in the white here can't eliminate a single man, while still having doubts one man is responsible for the 61 death they've suffered. We'll be seeing a lot of Braun later in this film. Constantine? Who the hell is Constantine? I'm giving up trying to figure out the names of these people. Moving forward, they find a place of refuge. The guy who has been begging for moonshine up to this point is stopped from taking a drink. Seems the entire meal laid out is poison, a trap set by the Germans. Oh, and I don't know many Russian phrases or proverbs, so perhaps someone in the comments can explain this one for me? We then learn that Vera is pregnant, and this place used to be a sauna. That's why the Germans show up. Everyone is caught outside save for Vera, who is left like a 2013 horror protagonist. Works pretty well, but she gets discovered. They find her uniform, and she's made to endure torture. Enough torture to make the youngest soldier vomit. Now, when she comes out, yes, she's messed up a bit. But this is what made you vomit? I'm expecting some Metal Gear Solid 5 torture, and all he did was give her the housewife experience. We then get the most drawn-out execution. First there's rope to hang her, then they're convinced to headshot. Then the pistol is handed to the youngest, and he's given 2 minutes. Good thing they're taking so long, because while this is happening, we get a pretty cool scene of them trying to quietly take a German trench. I like everything from the book defense to the attempt to hold the trigger. But they're no closer, and thus a shot rings out across the frozen plains. Yeah, seems the Red Ghost is in the area, and a lot closer than expected. He moves in, rocking a trench knife and a nagant. Braun has a shot on him at one point, but no gun. I will admit, the film got a chuckle at me when Braun's naked run convinces one German he simply drank too much. The biggest thing to note for this scene is that Braun is sent running in drag, and this guy busts his teeth. The Red Ghost passes out from staying in the sauna for too long in full gear. What follows is them sitting around, eating, complaining about no moonshine. Oh, and Vera has a child. The important part is that Braun has been hoofing it, and finally meets up with that elite squad. First thing he does is take them right back to the sauna. We do get a bit of Chekhov's gun as the leader mocks Braun over what he said earlier. We get off to an explosive start as the Germans advance on the village with mortar fire. If you played enough Sniper Elite, you know where this is going. Anyways, it's more fighting, and it's on par with what we got earlier. This guy gets messed up like it's Fist of the North Star. At least his friend found the moonshine and can fix him up. Yeah, I can believe the first few shots, but by the burst he'd be down. He then dies, as does Glass Jaw over there. With everyone dead or hidden, Braun and the Red Ghost do battle. It's not off to a great start, as by all means that downward swing should have hit. Honestly, the whole brawl is kind of meh. Eventually, Ghost comes out on top, but he must have got that DSM. Yep, this guy has literally been laying on the cold ground for half the movie. He got kicked earlier and no one noticed he was still alive. He's then shot dead, and it's revealed that our final survivors were Vera, the frozen kid, and the guy with the messed up eye. To wrap up, we get a recreation of the opening scene, with the actors once again being saved. The sharpshooter walks onto the scene with people calling him the Red Ghost. It's of course the soldier with the bad eye. I couldn't find a budget for this film, but it did draw in 16 million rubles, which translates to $260,692.48. If that even managed to make a return, it probably wasn't worth it with all the headache. The project began during a severe frost in the winter of 2017 and 2018. Filming was done in an abandoned part of the Mosalki district. The sets were constructed, but not set up, as weather conditions forced the crew to put the project off for 9 months. The first release of the film would be in Russia, 3rd of October 2020, at the Moscow International Film Festival. The final would be in France with a DVD premiere 23rd of February 2022. The near-universal title is Red Ghost, but some copies here in the USA are Red Ghost Nazi Hunter. In addition to title difference, the covers vary wildly. The one I got was fine, with him pulling off his best Reznov cosplay. The alternative is much more impressive, and this final one just goes hard. If I saw this cover first, then I'd understand why some publications refer to this as a horror movie. Speaking of that, it bothers me just how much misinformation is out there about this movie. Several sites question or refer to this being a horror movie. Wikipedia even refers to the Red Ghost as half man, half ghost. He was pretty human in the film. In the film, one character remarks that the Great Wall of China is 8 kilometers or so long. However, in reality, it is 21,196 kilometers in full. The revolver used by the Red Ghost is a Nagant M1895, which is notable for the fact it holds 7 rounds and not the stereotypical 6. Marika Rock is mentioned in the film. Despite the misspelled name, she did exist and performed during the reign of Nazi Germany. She was a Hungarian-born dancer, singer, and performer. Resuming her career in 1947, she continued until 1986. Now, is there any historical merit to this film? Basically, no. The only Red Ghost ever mentioned in fable or legend is the Arizona Red Ghost from the 19th century. Vasily Zaitsev was the Soviet Union's top sniper in World War II, so it would seem they've attempted to mix him and Simo Haya, Simo being a Finnish sniper that fought against the Soviets in the Winter War 1939 to 1940. He was called the White Death. Either way, this character is totally fictional, and the only reality is the background basis known as the Vyazemsky Cauldron, which is where the Soviets suffered a major encirclement and lost a conservative estimate of 380,000 to 600,000 soldiers, not counting captured and missing. I couldn't find anything on the Germans setting out full but poisoned meals, though the British did have an Operation Vegetarian and a terrorist plot involving 50 Holocaust survivors poisoning food. All in all, this film is barely that. While the action is serviceable and at times even pretty good, it just rings hollow. There was nothing to really hook a person onto this film. It has the most shallow characters and a plot that can be summed up in one sentence. Soldiers hold out in an abandoned village. However, that's hardly a setback, as films have had simple premises for the genre's entire lifespan. Something like Seven Samurai or Outpost had plots you can outline on a napkin, yet still entertain, through characters, writing, action that carries weight, and just general style. Instead of achieving that, Red Ghost is the outline of a story put to film, with bits added as they go. Braun was maybe the most interesting character, because he actually had some goals he needed to work towards, and a bit of a personality. The only other character I can truly remember is Moonshine Guy. Unlike Nazi Germany, you can stay out of this Russian product.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.